Hello, and welcome to another magical conversation. So, guys, I've been struggling with my self worth for the past few weeks. Basically, this trigger started with this manager that I have at my job that is super like micromanaging and controlling. And imagine when something goes wrong in the kitchen or somebody makes a mistake, I'm always like the one to blame. I'm the scapegoat. And even if I try my best to not make mistakes, that by the way, we all make mistakes, and mistakes, I think, should be something that should be allowed to do in a workplace. And you should not feel like so guilty or this much pressure to not be human and to not make mistakes, right? So like I have this manager that is super controlling, like micromanaging every time that I'm doing something, like I feel like I have these eyes over me at all times. I'm blamed for things I didn't do. Like even if I'm doing something right, he's telling me, in the future, just make sure you do this. Like I'm going to do something wrong in the future. It's just super stressful, this type of management and leadership. And I'm really struggling with my sense of self worth because of that. I think this trigger comes back to childhood for me, feeling like I was never good enough for my parents. I think this management style and this leadership is not right. And I also think just because, for example, in a company, in a corporation, just because someone has experience and has many years of experience doing a certain job does not mean they are fit to be a leader or manager. I think it takes a certain personality style for you to be fit to be a leader or a manager. I think there should be like courses before you go to those positions, because I don't think just many years of experience is enough. I think, yes, that's important. Many years of experience is important for you to know the workaround, right? For you to know how to do the job, of course. But I think on top of that, you should have training to know how to be a good leader and a good manager. I don't think just experience is enough for you to be a leader or manager. And I don't see this type of like controlling fear based management to be the correct one. And I don't think that person is right in doing it. But every time in my life that I'm faced with a trigger, even though that, okay, it's someone that is not doing the correct thing, at least in my eyes, right? I always take it as a learning curve. I always take it as showing something deeper inside of me, right? And the lesson I'm learning here, and I'm trying to learn from it and trying to heal, is my sense of self worth. And I think this really comes back to childhood, that I did not felt good enough for my parents, no matter what I did, how much I tried. I was always the one to blame. I was always a scapegoat. I was never enough. And I remembered being a child and trying so hard to please my parents, trying so hard to make them love me. And not like at some point, I was just trying so hard to have peace. You know, I was trying so hard to not always be blamed for everything and not always be the scapegoat and always being made feel like that I was always wrong. I was always guilty. Right. And I think this is highlighting within me this feeling of I'm not enough. No matter how I do, what I do, no matter how much I try, I'm never enough. And I have this cognitive dissonance within me that is like, when I see myself in third person, when I take my emotions out of it and I look at myself through facts, factuality, like if I look across my life and what I have done and what I have achieved and the person that I am, I do think I'm enough. When I take out my feelings, I look at myself and I'm even impressed with myself, right? I'm like, wow, Laurinda, you really overcame a lot. You made a lot out of nothing. Like, I'm really impressed with you. But when I'm in my body and within my emotions, I don't feel enough. I don't feel like I am enough to almost have peace. I don't feel like I am enough to be accepted by people. I don't think I am enough to be loved. And at this point of life, I'm not even looking to be loved or accepted by others. That's not where I'm looking in this point of life, maybe in the future. Right now, I just want to live a life of peace. I just want a peaceful life, going day by day with the most amount of peace that I can, right? And I think there is a part of me, these wounds of not feeling enough. I think it comes from a lot of trauma within my family and with my relationship with my parents. And this wound does not allow me to have peace because I feel like I'm not safe enough to be myself. I'm not safe enough to make mistakes. I'm not safe enough to be flawed, to be human, right? I think I am harsh on myself and I criticize myself in my own inner world that I always need to be perfect, that I cannot fail. And I think this is very common in people that suffered with narcissists, the people that have the relationship with narcissists, that you feel like you're not allowed to be human, like because they see you as an object, they don't see you as human. So basically, you are someone that does not have human qualities of making mistakes or being flawed. And I think that was so projected in me, my childhood, that I have integrated that within me that I don't allow myself to be human. And I think there is a whole nother discussion of how work functions, right? I think work in of itself, the way that we work and the way that we interact with work and the expectations of being in a company, right, is that you are not allowed to be human in the sense that you're not allowed to make mistakes, to have emotions, to have feelings, to have bad days. Yeah, like they see you as a number, like you are a number in the system. All that matters is the numbers, and they are seeing you as almost, yeah, robots. And I think there is a lot of dehumanization in the way that we interact with work and the way that we work, and the expectations of bosses, managers, of leaders to always achieve these high numbers through numbers. They don't even consider the fact of the mental well-being of their employees. The reason why they are not doing such work maybe is because they are not, yeah, allowed to fail, allowed to learn, because failing is learning. The path to being good at something is failing 1,000 times, like for you to become really good at something, you need to fail. You should be allowed to fail. I think that's the path to really become good at something. I think failure is not something that should be avoided, but something that should be embraced with compassion, kindness, and something that should be like, yes, you fell, that's okay. What can we learn from this? How can we grow from here? And it's okay if you make the same mistake over and over again, because at some point you're going to make the mistake so many times that you're going to learn, right? And I think, yeah, I'm really struggling with this concept of failure because I see the world as a reflection of myself, right? Even though I'm not discarding that this management style is toxic, because it is, I'm not discarding the fact that I don't see this as a healthy management style or healthy leadership style. But at the same time, what I like to do is if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right? If life gives you a challenge, you learn a lesson from it, right? And I'm really trying to go into this concept within myself of not feeling good enough, not feeling safe to fail, not feeling safe to make mistakes, because I almost feel this sense of injustice, because I feel like I'm always trying to show up in the best way that I can. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I'm always trying to show up in the best way that I can for people. I think that's a good quality, but I think I feel almost this sense of injustice because I'm showing up the best way that I can, and other people aren't, and other people, I feel like they are more allowed to make mistakes than me because I'm taking the blame for most of it. For example, I'm always being blamed, like at my work, for things I didn't do. And at some point, I'm getting tired of it, and I'm saying, "Hey, it was not me." For example, this manager to like blame me for something that's, yeah, I don't even know what it is anymore. And I told them, "Hey, it was not me." And there is always another person. There was only another person that it could be. So like this manager told me, so you were blaming the other one for it. So now you're blaming people, and now me defending myself has become me blaming other people. So now this guy is projecting what he's doing onto me and trying to make me feel guilty for passing the blame. That is basically me telling the truth. And I guess that's another wound that I feel like I cannot stand up for myself because somehow I always end up being the guilty one. I always end up being the one that is wrong. And again, I think this is very much a reflection of my childhood because my parents would treat me poorly. And every time that I would stand up for myself, I was the one to blame. I was the one that is being too sensitive, or I was being ungrateful, or I shouldn't stand up for some reason. They will blame me for having feelings and being hurt by their hurtful behavior, right? And at some point, I think I was beaten down to submission. I think I really adapted the fawn trauma response, like the people pleasing, because, right, you have the different trauma responses. One of them is the fight. But I felt like I also like not stand for myself because if I stand up for myself, I'm going to be the one to blame at the end of it. It's going to be my fault. Like I'm the crazy one. Why are you having this reaction? It's like someone hurting you so much. And at some point you are angry, you are hurt. Like stop doing that, right? And you have this emotional reaction that maybe you are even screaming at them. And maybe you reached a point of breakdown that you cannot take it anymore, right? And you are having this valid emotional response to their treatment, and they blame you like you are crazy, why you are reacting like this. And I think this happened to me so much that I was really beaten down to shut up, to silence myself. And then this is very manipulative because imagine somebody beats you down over and over again, right? They put you down, they hurt you. And then you reach to a point of you don't stand it anymore and standing up for yourself. And even if other people see it, they see you as a crazy one. They see the victim that is having a natural reaction to their actions as, what are you doing? You are crazy. You are angry. Why you are doing this? You have no reason to do this. And I think this mindset that I was put on my family and to the people that were close to my family and have seen me act in these ways through a natural reaction to their actions, right? And they blame me always. It was always me, the one to blame. I think I just learned to silence myself and to not say anything because I don't believe that I'll be heard. I do not believe that I'll be understood. I don't believe that people have compassion and empathy for my valid emotions. And I think I adapted in my childhood. This is something that I am trying to heal from. And I think I made a lot of strides in healing from people pleasing because, again, people pleasing gets such a bad reputation. Like, why you're people pleasing? Why you shouldn't be this nice? The reason why you being treated like this is because you are this nice. And no, it's a trauma response. What are you going to do in a situation where you are being mistreated? You have no way out. Every time that you stand up for yourself is even worse for you. What you gonna do? You're gonna try to fawn to that person. You're gonna try to walk on eggshells. You're gonna try to avoid conflict because you have no other option. There is nothing wrong and nothing to be ashamed for being a people pleaser. You are dealing with your circumstances the best way that you can. And I think Yeah, overall, we adopted this such victim blame mentality where the victims are always want to blame because it's easier to blame the victim, right? Because the victim is actually willing to be flexible and willing to change. Where the person that is causing the harm, we know they are not going to change. For someone to change as a person, right? You need a lot of inner reflection and healing. You need to be alone, time alone, look into yourself, feel your emotions, and heal. And this is something that not many people have the courage to do. This is hard to do. To look into yourself and self reflect is something that takes a lot of courage and bravery to do because you need to sit with things that are painful. You need to sit with your past, with the things that happened to you, and you need to sit with the emotions that hurt, that you've been avoiding for years, right? It takes a lot of strength to be able to change. And honestly, one, I don't think there is much space in society to be able to do that. I think we see feeling emotions, healing, spending time alone, reflecting almost as something you shouldn't do. Like, again, you're being too sensitive or forget about it, or why are you spending so much time alone? Things are not that deep, but they are. And I think in society we don't accept this overall, and there is no space to do that. It lacks space for us to be able to spend time alone, reflect, think about things, and change, right? Not only that, that's a factor, but the other factor is even if you had space and if we as society accept it, it's a hard thing to do. It takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of strength to see yourself, to meet yourself, to feel your emotions, to feel the things that you've been rejecting for so long. So, in a lot of ways, I'm proud of myself that I'm able to change as a person. I'm proud of myself that I'm able to heal. And this has been a long journey of a lot of rock bottoms, a lot of difficulties, a lot of obstacles that led me here, which ultimately I'm always grateful for. And now I adapt the mentality, hey, again, if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. If I'm faced with a trigger, if I'm faced with an obstacle, I know what to do. I'm going to sit by myself, reflect about this, see the deeper meaning behind this, see the beginning of this, right? But all this to say that I thought about talking to this manager, and I think right now he's on vacation. Thank God. Thank God. I'm so glad that this man is on vacation and he's going to give me a break from his management style. But I think when he comes back, I'm going to need to speak with him and say, hey, the way that you micromanage and the way that you control is not healthy for me, is not healthy for my mental well-being. And above it all, I need to prioritize my mental health and mental well-being. And if this doesn't change, my only option will be to change work. Right now, I'm looking for other jobs, which it was took me such a long time to find a job, and it was so hard to find this job. And it just life can be really hard sometimes, when you don't have options, when yeah, basically you don't have that much resources and you have to bow and submit to an environment that is not healthy for you just to survive. That's hard. It's hard to have to sacrifice your mental health and mental well-being just to survive. And yeah, it took me a long time to find this job. The job search was not easy. I'm starting to look for other jobs, but I know it's going to take a long time for me to find another job. So I have to endure the situation the best way that I can. But it's hard. Like, life sucks when you don't have resources. Life sucks when you don't have freedom. Life sucks when you don't have options, right? And I think there is a lot of things wrong with the way that we work and the system that we work, right? I think there are a lot of things that should be improved, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I can change the world, right? I can only change myself. But yeah, I'm thinking of speaking with this guy when he comes back from vacation. I will speak probably. But the thing is, I'm scared because one, I'm afraid that his reaction is going to be worse. I'm afraid that me speaking up my mind is going to be a trigger and he's going to project more and say like things like, I do this because I have to, or it's just what you need to do to make like certain standards of excellence, whatever, wherever, wherever. On the other coin, I also feel that it takes a long time for people to change. People don't change overnight. It takes, again, a lot of alone time, self reflection, and healing for someone to change. Because probably he's reacting this way because he has some control issues, whatever, childhood, whatever, right? It's just something within him that for him to change and stop doing that, he will have to, yeah, work on himself for a long period of time, right? So even, for example, even if he understands, even if he understands my side and he apologizes and try to change his behavior is only going to change for a certain amount of time. He's going to revert to the same behavior because that is who he is at the end of the day. And for him to change as a person is a long time, a lot of inner reflection that most people don't want to do and avoid doing it, right? So I feel like here I'm in an impossible situation that I'm going to speak with him when he comes back from vacation and say, hey, I can't take this much longer. Like, I need to prioritize my mental well being. And if, you know, if that is not possible, I need to look for a place where I can prioritize my mental well being, right? I also try to speak in this way to not attack people. You feel me? I think when dealing with conflict, I think it kind of helps to speak like not trying to attack them because people are people are triggered, right? We all go through triggers and most people project their triggers. Most people cannot integrate those triggers and heal them and they project those triggers, right? And yeah, I feel like ultimately I'm gonna need to leave that job, which sucks because a girl has to survive, right? I think it's gonna take me a long time to find another job. I'm already sending CVs, but I'm not gonna tell him this. I'm gonna tell him like if my mental well-being is not prioritized, I need to like start looking for other jobs. Meanwhile, I'm already looking for other jobs. And yeah, this is really a struggle. Like life can be really a struggle sometimes because you are faced with impossible situations. Uh, Between a rock and a hard place. And imagine in my work, I could defend myself, but I feel like defending myself will be putting the blame to other people. And I feel bad for other people. You feel me? It's like I'm being blamed for what other people are doing. But if I stand up for myself and say, hey, it's not me, they are going to blame the other people and the other people are going to feel bad. Like I have compassion and empathy for the other people, you feel me? Because I'm going through this and I have compassion and empathy for others, and almost, yeah, it's me that is left to feel bad for other people's behavior. It is me that is left to feel guilty and have compassion for other people's behavior. And I'm really tired of that. And I think it just sucks. I think this is something that a lot of us go through. And yeah, having compassion and empathy for others in this world is not easy. But I'm proud of myself that I could hold on to that, because in this journey of my life, it could have been very easy to put my emotions above others and to disregard others and just to look out for myself. And I think honestly, looking out for myself is something that I should do more, because it's always me that is taking it all. Because I feel bad for other people. I know what it's like to go through it. I know what it's like to go through mistreatments. I know that feeling. And it hurts me to see other people going through the same. But yeah, it's outside of my control. So yeah, recently I've been taking this the best way that I can. That is to look at myself, to look at my sense of self-worth, to humanize myself again, to realize that I'm not a robot, I'm not a machine, I'm not perfect. And I don't need to be perfect to have peace. I don't need to be perfect to survive, to have a decent life. I am allowed to make mistakes, right? I'm allowed to fail. And I think that is a lesson that I'm learning now. And I'm learning it through, okay, I have this trigger. What I like to do is first, I like to feel my emotions, feel my emotions are not feeling enough. And I just remind myself a lot of my parents, of my childhood, of feeling like I was never good enough for them, no matter what I did, how much I tried. It was never enough. And I'm just sitting with those feelings, and I'm giving myself support by saying to myself, well, I feel these feelings, like you are enough for me. With me, you are safe. You are allowed to make mistakes, like hug myself while saying that, like, I love you through all the mistakes, through all the flaws. You don't need to be perfect to feel safe, accepted, and loved. And I'm really holding on space for that and being there for myself the best way that I can. And I know in the grand scheme of things, this is going to be beneficial for me. I know when I look to my life in this bird's eyes view perspective, I say birds because I'm like watching birds right now. um, I know in the long term, I'm going to look back and realize, hey, I needed this trigger. I needed this for me to accept myself and say to myself, hey, you don't need to be great all the time. You don't need to give it your all the time. You don't need to be like, meet this standard of excellence to be worthy of safety, love, and acceptance. And I think this will really help me in the long term. And I know it just sucks to go through it in the moment. Nobody likes it, right? Going through in the moment is just hard, but it's necessary. So yeah, recently I've been faced with this. Something that is also like bothering me a little bit is my mother. Like I'm in a no contact situation with my mother, because if you have listened to this podcast, you know. But yeah, like she's a very toxic person that does nothing but hurt me. And I've been in a no contact situation with my mother. And imagine, in the past, I tried to tell her, hey, I need space. I tried to set boundaries, you feel me? Like I tried to explain to her, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care that she's hurting me. Like, I think she needs to hurt me to feel good about herself. I think for her is something that she needs to do, and is simply who she is, right? And I have been in a no contact situation with her. to heal myself and to give myself the love and the safety that she never did, that she quite robbed for me. And yeah, I ignore her messages, and sometimes she just sends messages like, why, daughter, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, if I explain to you why I'm doing this to you, if I explain to you, like I did many times in the past, why I'm not speaking with you, you will blame me, you'll make me feel guilty, you will guilt trip me, you make yourself feel the victim. There is no point in me explaining anymore why I'm distancing myself from you, because you're just going to spin it to make me the one feel guilty about it, right? I already gave up on my relationship with my mother. I already gave up, and I think it's a thing that I really helped me with my mental health, to go no contact with her, to give up on our relationship. I think it really helped me in building safety and start healing uh, within myself. But the thing is, I think at some point I'll block her, for her to not constantly reach out to me, trying to again guilt trip me for a response, like blaming me and making herself feel the victim, and not take any accountability for all the pain that she caused me. And I think at some point I'll have to block her. And I think if she continues to try to guilt trip me into a response, I have to block her sooner than I intended, because yeah, it's hard for me to cut her fully out of my life. It's a process of grieving. I'm still grieving the fact that I felt like I never had a family. I'm still grieving these expectations of a mother that I wanted to have. I'm still grieving her treatment towards me. I'm still grieving the trauma of my childhood. And it's a slow process, right? And I'm trying to take it as slow as I can, as with more love and patience that I can, because beneath this all, it's my inner child. It's a child that did not feel safe, that all she wanted was to feel some sort of safety and some sort of acceptance and love and comfortability. Beneath this all is a child within me that is very, very hurt and very, very traumatized. And I'm really trying to be patient with my inner child, that is basically being patient with myself. But again, I think sometimes speaking in third person kind of helps with psychological safety, because if you see yourself, this compartmentalization, right? Like if you see yourself in third person, I think sometimes it helps with psychological safety, because when you feel safe, you can start healing. And sometimes you don't feel safe, right? And that's very normal, because life can be very traumatizing and hard, and can take a lot of safety out of you. And I think sometimes seeing my inner child as something separate from me kind of helps, but ultimately I know it's me, right? But I think it kind of helps in the process of healing to create this distance from that version of myself. So I feel safer, like it creates this psychological safety, because I feel safer because it's like distance, right? Like seeing my inner child as something exterior to me, even though that I know it's something within me. And hopefully later in this journey, I can integrate her fully and be like, no, this is me. This is fully me. This is what I've been through, right? But seeing her now outside of me, I like to envision her, imagine her, and envision and imagine her as a child, like in front of me, outside of me, and how I wanted to treat this child. And I try to give her the love like a mother would, like my expectations of a mother and my view of love and care and compassion. And I try to do that for her. And that is really helpful when you don't feel safe yet to feel it all. And I've been trying to, yeah, have patience with her in this process of grieving, not try to speed up things, not try to rush her, like step by step. A little step by little step goes a long way. And I'm trying not to rush this process of blocking my mother, because ultimately that's what I'm going to have to do. And I think my mother constantly texting me and guilt tripping me is just forcing this process, because ultimately I cannot stop feeling guilty. When she trips me, I feel guilty, you know? Even though logically I know I have nothing to feel guilty about, I do feel guilty. I feel bad because I have empathy and compassion for others. And again, I'm very proud of that empathy and compassion, and I did not lose that. And I'm very proud of myself for that. And this is one of the characteristics about myself that I love the most. But I need to protect my heart, and I need to protect my inner child, because she already been free enough. I already been free enough. I don't deserve anymore. I don't deserve more mistreatments. And I think, yeah, I think I'm trying to kind of accelerate the process of reaching a point of blocking her, because the moment that I block my mother, I know I'll never see her ever again. I'm accepting her passing away. I'm accepting that this is it, right? And it's really a process of grieving. And grieving is not easy. I've experienced like physical grieving, like of people really passing away in my life, with my father and my grandmother. And for example, even my father was a horrible person, but I still grieved. I still cried. I still missed him. Because someone can be horrible to you, but if they were like your parents, the people that you loved, the people that you had so much empathy and compassion and love for, it still hurts. Even though that they did nothing but hurt you, in your side it still hurts. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that shows character on my side, and that shows that I still care, even for it all. But I have to, above it all, put myself first. I have to put my mental health first. I need to put my boundaries up. And I need to prioritize myself, because nobody's going to prioritize me. Nobody's going to put me first. Nobody is going to stand up for myself. It's me. And I wish it wasn't that way, but it is my reality right now. Nobody is going to put me first now. Nobody is going to think and care about me. They're just going to put themselves first, right? And I'm not blaming them. Like, we all do what we need to do, right? But I need to do that for myself. So, yeah, I'm slowly but surely cutting off all contact with my mother. I just need like some time, but I feel like her reaching out and just guilt tripping me more, just sending me back to the hole again, to that like dark place again, and that I'm trying so hard to recover from. Because I feel like in a lot of ways I'm recovering for me, but I feel I'm doing so much good for the generations to come. I feel like almost this weight of responsibility. I feel so responsible for so many things. For myself, for the behaviors of others, and honestly, I'm quite tired of feeling responsible. I'm quite tired of bearing the weight. because I feel like I'm healing for myself, but I think healing myself is also healing others, you know? Not only that, if I ever have a family and never have children, if I ever have children, my children will never experience what I experienced in childhood. They might experience from other people, and that's outside of my control. But for me, if I ever have children, by the way, I don't want children, but if I ever do, if I ever change my mind, and I say this because probably I'll change my mind. I think I say this of I don't want to have children from a very traumatized and hurt place, but that's another conversation. But if I ever have children, my children will never experience what I experienced. Not because I'm not gonna try to be different, but because I'm doing the work to be different. Not because I'm going to put a conscious effort to be a person that I'm not, but because I'm putting the effort to become that person. And in a lot of ways, I think I'm doing a lot of good for myself and for the next generations. And also, I feel like with Laurindalandia, with what I say, I like to think that I'm also doing good for you guys, you know? I also like to think that I like to think, you know, that I'm making you guys feel seen, and feeling seen is such a powerful thing. Feeling heard and validated is so powerful. But also the things that I've learned, the things that I say, I like to think that I'm helping you guys find clarity and find self love and self validation. So I think there is a lot of good that I'm doing. I just feel like sometimes the good that I'm doing for myself and others, it comes with such a weight because I'm thinking I'm going against the status quo. I'm going against everything because being a good person in a sea of bad people, you are the one that is losing, you know? Like, I feel like it comes with so much weight and so much responsibility to be a decent person. You feel me? Like, even like thinking about my job, like, me being a good person is to my detriment. For example, me not standing up for myself and saying, hey, this is not me that is doing this. Like, it means that another person is going to be hurt. And that hurts me. It's just hard. It's hard. Damn, like, it's hard to have, yeah, compassion and empathy and trying to be a decent person. It's not for the weak. It's not for the weak. It is for the strong. You feel me? And I think there is a lot of view of like good people that they shouldn't be that way and they are weak, and I see it completely different. It takes so much strength to have morals. It takes so much strength to have empathy and compassion and ethics, and to live in your word and to live by your ethics, right? And yeah, I'm just struggling right now with a lot of feelings of not being enough, with a lot of responsibility of trying to continue to stand up for my morals and continue to stand up for myself, because I think I'm standing up for against so much. I think just me being myself and me standing up for my emotions and for my morals is standing up against so much, is going against so much systems and so many ways of viewing the world. And there is not another way that I want it to be. I will not, something that I will not do is become something that I'm not just to conform, just to be easy. I refuse to conform. I refuse to change my morals, change my ethics, just to follow the status quo. Because if in this life I'm not being myself, what's the purpose? Like, what's the meaning? If in this life I'm not staying true to myself is not worth it. And yeah, I've been struggling a bit past few weeks, and I will not back down in the way I feel, and I will not back down in what I think is right, and I'm not going to back down in my compassion, in my empathy, in my love for myself and others, even though it comes with a lot of weight and is me being against a lot of systems. And I really appreciate the space of this podcast, Magical Conversations, Laurindalandia, because it's such a space of relief where I can just be myself. And I think this passion really pushes me, like it keeps me going, it gives me something to look forward to. And I'm so grateful for myself that I've created this space. I'm so grateful for all the people that hear me, see me, interact with me. And I'm grateful for myself that I found healthy coping mechanisms. For this journey, I learned healthy coping mechanisms and how to deal with life's difficulties and obstacles. And I like to think that I'm doing a pretty good job. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for myself, for who I am, and for everything that I've created. Thank you guys for hearing to what I'm feeling, because I really come here and I'm really like honest. It takes me a lot of guts uh, for myself to really come here and really say how I feel, speak truthfully, because literally no one in my life ever had this much truth of me. I always feel like I need to dim my light, dim myself, just to not ruffle too many feathers. Just try to make my life the easiest that I can, because I think maybe myself and me speaking up and speaking my mind creates a lot of chaos. And I'm just, yeah, thank you for listening, because probably you guys were the only people that actually ever listened to me, to the truth of me, to how I feel. And I'm just super grateful for all of you. Thank you. And today I wanted to share a story that was a bit scary, and it made me really lose faith that people will ever stand up for me. And I think it coincides with how I'm feeling today. I think it's also part of the trauma, right? It's a part of my trauma. And this story is a trigger warning. It's a trigger warning for home invasion, I guess. A trigger warning, yeah, for people trying to come to your home. Also, trigger warning for police and police treatment. And I wanted to tell this story that is, I think it correlates a lot with me losing faith in people. Me losing faith in people to do the right thing, me losing faith in people to just have morals and ethics and stand up for his rights, right? And I think this story is a part of that trauma that hopefully one day I can regain faith in humanity. Hopefully one day. But right now I don't have much. I don't have much faith that people can actually be good people. You feel me? I don't have much faith in that. And I think that this is a part of that story. That is, this story is when I'm in college. And this was my party girl era, escapisms era. I was probably like 19, 20, 21. I don't even know, because that stage of my life is so blurry because I was always intoxicated. It's so, yeah, it's really blurry to me, all of that those experiences during that time. I think like from 15 to 22 is really blurry. My life is really blurry. Like when I look back, I'm like, is this like a bad dream? I think it has to do with a lot of, yeah, substances, alcohol, and also a lot of trauma. Because I think when you go through a lot of trauma, you kind of dissociate and you depersonalize, and everything becomes confusing and blurry. So basically, this was in college in my particular era, escapism era, going out, partying, getting drunk, right? And basically, the party scene, like the bars and the clubs, were like in the center of the city. And I lived not too far away, but kind of far away from the city. So for me to go party and go home, because in the night, this was before Ubers. I did not have money for a taxi. I'm broke during this time, mind you. Basically, for me to be able to go out and have a place to sleep, I had to sleep like at friends' places. And I had this friend that I have another story that I can tell you guys that is kind of crazy. And when I say kind of crazy, it's crazy and it's also traumatizing, that I'll tell another episode. Uh, Basically, at the time, my friends were my, like, they did not like me. I hanged out and I called friends people that were not my friends. They did not like me. I just created these friendships and relationships because I could not be alone with myself and with my thoughts. I just wanted distraction, right? So I was creating like these friendships and relationships just to distract myself. These people did not care about me. They did not have my best interest at the heart. They were like putting me down, making fun of me. Like this girl that was my friend was like constantly calling me fat and like, yeah, there is so much in there. But okay. So basically, I'm staying at this friend's place after a night out because that's the only way for me to have a place to sleep in, right? So I go out, I have a night, I don't remember the night because again, I'm drunk, I don't remember. And I'm coming home and I'm walking from the center to this friend's place that is not like that much time, probably like 50 minutes. Because yeah, I slept in friends' places that live near the bars and the clubs. So yeah, I could have a place to sleep. And I'm walking with another friend that I had important friend, quotation marks. Um, and we are walking home to my friend's place. We are walking together, right? And everything is fine. And we reach our friend's apartment, like her door. And I start calling her for her to basically open the door because we don't want to ring the bell, to not wake up other roommates and stuff like that, right? So I'm calling her, like, to say, hey, we are down, you can open the door. And imagine I'm with my friend, my other friend, and we're at the door, and I'm calling my other friend to open the door. And out of the sudden, from the dark, from the shadows, it could be a ghost for all I know. Just kidding. This guy appears out of nowhere, and this guy just comes, and I'm like, this guy starts looking at like weird vibes. Like this guy just comes. I don't know if he says anything. He's giving creepy. It's at night. It's a man. I'm a woman. I'm scared. You feel me? I'm scared. Like a man approaches me at night. I'm scared immediately. Like, hello. So this guy comes real close to us. And like, I'm on the phone with my friend. I think I said something. Hey, can you open the door quick? Because there is this guy that is kind of weird. It's kind of scaring me. And this guy, while I'm on the phone with a friend that is going to open the door, this guy grabs my phone and tries to take out my phone from my hand. So at this point, I'm trying to recover my phone, you feel me? And we are like in a tug of war, like back and forth. This guy is trying to push my phone, to take out my phone from my hand. Mind you, I don't know this man. This man appeared out of nowhere. He seemed high out of his mind on some hard stuff. You feel me? Like pupils like eyes black, you know? And this guy is like trying to take out my phone. I'm grabbing my phone for dear life. I'm doing anything to not like let go of my phone, you feel me? And we are fighting there. My other friend that was with me, like, she's about to beat him, you know, like I think she even like tries to throw in some punches, but like we are girls, like there is this grown man, we don't have the strength, we have nothing, like. And meanwhile, while this man is trying to like take out my phone, this is not funny at all, but I deal with trauma by laughing, really. uh I think I'm still on the phone with that other friend. I think my other friend was like listening to this. So she comes down with a broom, like a broom to clean up the place. She opens the door and imagine, okay, this man is trying to hold to my phone, so like his arms are extended because I'm trying to grab my phone back. She with a broom. Okay, this friend comes. You have to like picture this scenario because this scenario it's traumatizing and comical at the same time. She comes with a rope in cow prints. So basically, she comes down with a rope. That's yeah, with cow print. She has a broom on her hand. She opens like the down door. It's not the door for the apartment. It's like, well, an apartment that you have the main door, right? She opens the door and she starts beating him with a broom. So she starts beating the guy with a broom, and the beating the guy is just for him to let go so we can enter the place, right? It's just for him to let go of my phone so we can go, like, enter the apartment. At some point, while she's beating him, like, he lets go of the phone, right? And we enter the apartment. And while we are entering the apartment, imagine this is a door that kind of closes from the inside. So he opens from the inside, right? So basically, we open the door, we enter, and this guy is pushing the door to keep it open. And we are free girls, trying to, like, with all of our strength to close the door because this guy is like, with inhumane strength. Again, I think he was high out of his mind, like on some, it probably was snowing, like inhumane strength. This guy is like doing everything to open the door. Mind you, this is a glass door. So we are three girls pushing the door to try to close. So this man does not enter the apartment. And somehow, like after struggling to close this door, because this man just won inhumane strength, like he was really being able to keep the door open. I think we only be able to close because my friend was also kicking him with a broom from like the opening space through the door. You feel me? Like my friend was trying to kick him with a broom. You feel me? So like he will, yeah, like not enter the apartment. You feel me? We're scared out of our lives, right? So we managed to close the door. Mind you, this is a glass door. And so we are scared, like, this man can break the glass door, right? Like there are many things that can happen here. We are scared. And we go up, we go in the elevator and we go up. And this man starts to ring all the bells from the apartment, all like the bells, you feel me? And he starts saying obscene things. When I mean obscene things, I mean obscene things, like very graphic, like intimate physical relationships graphic, but very obscene. Like if I could say the words on YouTube, I would, but I cannot. It's very graphic, obscene, horrible things. So he's ringing all the bells and he's basically shouting like, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to, yeah, very obscene things. I can't even. So we are like up there in the apartment and we are like, oh my God, like this guy is not letting go. Like this guy is ringing all the bells. He's shouting to the bells, these obscenities. Like we are scared, you know? So we decide, okay, we need to call the police. So we call the police the first time, right? And basically what the police does, he comes with a car and he does a round around the apartment. So basically what happens here is that the guy is at the door. He sees a police car. He hides. The police car just does a round, just passes by the street, one round, and he goes away. The police. And the guy, when he sees a police car, he hides. Duh. So the guy hides, and when he sees the police is gone, he comes back to the apartment door, comes back to ringing the bells, and comes back to saying that he's going to do obscene things to us. And like, we are like, bro, like, we think we need to start calling the police, like, we need to call the police again because this man just is in the first round of police and he's like, he's not backing down. We need to call the police again. So we call the police again. Right. And the police comes, and this time the guy sees a police car for the second time. He fully goes away. Like, he doesn't come back. You feel me? But this time the police wants to speak with us because it's the second time that we are calling them. And for them, they are seeing us like, these girls are bothering us because we came, we didn't see anybody, right? So like, they're like, why are you calling us a second time, right? My friends come down because I'm too shaken to come down. This man tried to grab my phone out of my hand. We were fighting, like, we were fighting for our lives. Like, I'm scared. Like, I just want to go to sleep. I'm done, right? So my two friends, they go down to talk with a policeman, mind you. And basically, when they come back, they tell me that the policemen were just basically like asking us about the situation. And when we were when they were telling the situation, yeah, we were like, we went out and we were coming back home and these men just appear out of nowhere. The policemen were basically like, why were you girls alone? Why were you drinking? You shouldn't be drinking. Girls should not be alone at night drinking. Basically, the policeman was shaming my friends for being out drinking, and was basically telling them like, you shouldn't been on the street either way, basically blaming us for what happened because we were the ones that should not be alone at night. We are the ones that shouldn't be out drinking. We were the ones that were wrong in this. And basically the policeman did nothing but blame us and shame us for being out. And when my friends came back from talking with the policeman and they told me this, bro, I really lost faith. I lost faith that anyone was there for me. I lost faith that anyone would protect me if something bad was going to happen. Because mind you, I already had a lot of dangerous situations in that city. This was not my first time. I already had a lot of dangerous situations that I never called the police because I always had this idea, what's the point? And I was right. Because the point of you calling the police when you are in danger is just for them to shame you because you are a woman that shouldn't be alone at night because it is your fault that you are suffering violence. It is your fault that you're going through this. And when my friends told me that, it was really scary because I realized in that point that nobody's going to stick up for me. Nobody is going to protect me. Nobody is going to defend me. If something happened, they will blame me. If something really bad happens, that almost did a lot of times, they will blame me. And I think this is also a reflection of the culture that I live in, that again is very dehumanizing for women and objectifying. Like, you deserve everything that you're asking for because, or you are wearing this, you look like this, you shouldn't be out at this time. But like, imagine, my dangerous situations did not happen just at night. It happened a lot during the day. And if I like told the police, they will tell me the same thing. Like, you are a woman, like, they will shame me for other people's actions. And yeah, that really made me lose a lot of faith in even like authorities and policemen and whatever to ever protect me, to ever yeah, do the right thing, you feel me? Because at the end of the day, I was in a dangerous situation, and all the policeman could do was to shame me and blame me for it. Yeah, that really it brought me a lot of paranoia because in that time I felt very alone and without complete safety, like completely unsafe. And I think in that city, there was a city that I grew up in. I was so traumatized. I went through so many unsafe situations that my life was in danger, and knowing that it was always me to blame. If I talked about it, it was me because I'm a woman. I shouldn't be in the streets at whatever time, even if it's during the day. It's because you're wearing this, you're wearing that. It's because you are nice, whatever, right? And to know that, yeah, I was just like without safety, and nobody was going to provide me that safety. Nobody is going to stand up for me. Nobody is going to protect me. Quite the opposite. They're going to shame me and blame me for it. So that really left me very anxious, very paranoid. Of course, like he also like left me like this so unfair, so unjust, but like I guess I accepted at some point that life is unfair and unjust, and that's it, right? And yeah, that left me very paranoid, very anxious. It was very, yeah, traumatizing. And in a lot of environments that I spoke about this, with a lot of people that I spoke about this, they will blame me. It will be my fault. And yeah, it's just hard. It's hard. Like, I'm still very traumatized from that experience. That because it's not only the fact that bad things happen, it's the fact that you are to blame for other people's harmful actions. It's the fact that not only you have to go through the trauma, but you are the one to blame for it. That's now that I'm talking, like saying this story, I'm still recovering from it. Like I'm having flashbacks, and having triggers. And I think leaving the city that I grew up, there were many reasons. There were my parents. There was a lot of trauma, but a lot of also like unsafety was one of the reasons. Because a funny thing is, this was in Portugal. And people say Portugal is a safe place. And I ask, safe place for who? For women? Do you think it's safe to be harassed? To suffer violence? And maybe because they say that Portugal is safe because of the numbers, right? If you go like to the crime, to the numbers, to the rates. But the thing is, most of these events do not go to the legal system because they are stopped at the policeman. Because the policeman will tell you, you are the one that is wrong. We are not going to take this further because you are the one that is wrong. Women that are like reporting this to police, they are blamed, they are shamed, and this never goes to the legal system. And it's not a number of the rates and the percentages of safety in Portugal. I do not believe that Portugal is safe because a lot of people don't even go to the legal system. One, because if they even try, they are shamed, and at some point you stop trying. At some point you are so shamed, so blamed for everything that is happening to you to be your fault that you stop trying. You stop trying to call the police. You stop trying to get to the legal system. You just submit and you just try to survive. That's all. Like you're just trying to survive. And yeah, there is a lot of issues I have with that. There is a lot of issues. I think there is a lot of wrong with it. And when people say to me that Portugal is safe, I'm like, bro, safe for who? I don't think even for men it's safe, honestly. Like, It's not safe for minorities, for sure. For sure. It's not safe for women. But I also don't think it's safe for men. I think a lot of the Portugal is safe is because we are so discredited and we are so blamed for what is happening to us that never goes to the legal system. It never becomes a number in the system because it stops at the policeman. And yeah, there's a lot of issues with that. A lot of issues with that. And I don't think it's just a Portugal thing because I live in a new country. Something similar, different fonts, you feel me, happened to me, and I was also discredited. And this is a story that I have to tell in another episode. I have so many stories to tell. A life full of trauma, full of events, full of drama. Because it has happened to me in the country that I'm living now. And the country that I'm living now, I say this country is safe because I feel it is. But again, just because a country is safe, it doesn't mean that nothing is ever going to happen to you. It just means that the likelihood and the percentage and the occurrence that is going to happen to you is less. And bro, I cannot, I'm grateful to live where I am because it's way safer than it was in Portugal. I'm grateful for that. Even though there's a few things happen to me, but a few things is not compared to the multitude of times and the multitude of things I had to go through in Portugal. So in a lot of ways, I'm grateful that I'm in a safer place. I feel less anxious, less paranoid. I can walk in the streets with more peace and safety, even though there is always a voice in my mind, like, be careful, be aware, right? I think that's a trauma. I'm grateful that it is better, it is improving. I'm improving in my life, I guess, circumstances and quality of life. Slowly by slowly, it's not perfect, but I'm improving and I'm grateful. And yeah, I'm grateful that I survived this incident because I think there will be a lot of there were a lot of events and trauma that happened in my life that I don't know how I survived. It could have gone so wrong, so easily. Like I thought for my life in many of these events. I thought for me to survive in many of these events, and I'm grateful that I survived, and I'm grateful that I'm in a different country that, hey, not perfect, but way better. I'm also grateful for the triggers that life presents to me. It's not easy to live in this moment right now and to feel my triggers and to deal with these people. But at the end of the day, when I look bird's eye view, when I look in the bigger picture, I'm grateful to have these triggers. I'm grateful to be the person that I am. I'm grateful to live the life that I'm living now. Not perfect, but I feel like step by step, little by little, we are improving. We are improving. It's also not hard to improve coming where I'm come from, but we are improving and I am grateful for that. I'm also grateful for this space that I can be myself. I'm grateful for everyone that listens, watches. You mean everything to me. You are the only ones that know me. Truly. And I just want to wish you a good day or night whenever you're listening. Bye.